My name's Mariah, and my favorite tarot card is the Hermit.
Really?
I think it was forced upon me.
My name's Kinsey, and I go to bed every night with a bee lamp. And it just soothes me. The Minecraft one.
I was going to say my favorite Genshin character, but I was like, that's kind of lame, and Genshin's not my thing, so I was going to let you take it one day.
I guess I'll have to say it first, but you can say it eventually.
Yeah, eventually. She gave me permission, everyone.
You too, Kaylin, eventually. You know?
Eventually.
I'll be like, Toma.
Or one
It's
week,
actually
we
all
could
time.
just start it off.
Actually,
all time.
But I like all time because it's kind of like how we didn't know how to pronounce it at the time.
Yeah, I like saying all time. It's funny.
Alright, Mariah, what are you showing us this week?
This week I'm showing Sk8 The Infinity. Woo! Also known as just Sk8. Sk8.
Sk8 Infinity symbol.
We didn't listen to the opening before we started.
Yeah, Caitlin, can you play that for me real quick?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is longer than the intro.
That's all. Yeah, after that.
Full size. Whoa.
Full song. So anyways, yeah, I'm sharing Sk8 because it is a random anime that I decided to watch before showing you guys. Which when I showed you guys, it wasn't intentional to show it to you guys. I remember I was at Hot Topic and this worker there, they came up to me while I was digging through their pins looking for my Daichi pin as I do. And they were like, oh, I love haiku too. And they're like, you know, it's a really good one. And I was like, I hate people talking to me, you know. I'm like, what? And they were like, Sk8 The Infinity. It's only on Funimation if you want to watch it. And I was like, what's it about? And they're like, it's about skateboarding. It's like women characters like canonly gay. Like you should watch it. And I was just, you know, I was like, yay, skateboarders. Anime, got it.
I was like, I like skateboarding.
You're like, I'm a
I
gay
love boarding.
skateboarder.
I was like, these are two things that like I enjoy. So I'll totally give that a watch. And I didn't for a while, like a couple months. And I think I just needed something to watch. And I remembered them talking about it. I remembered someone on Twitter talking about it and how short of an anime it was. And I was like, yeah, I'll give it a watch. And I watched all of it. It was only 12 episodes. And then I showed you.
Actually, you were going to go show her, and I was waking up from a nap, and I was like, what y'all watching? I sat down
so
to
I had a whole conversation with Kinsey about the anime, and I think Kinsey tried to get me to like basically spoil it as she does. And I'm like, I couldn't tell at the time Kinsey like was intrigued or she just like listening to me hyperfixate as we do with each other. And then Kinsey was like, let's watch an episode right now. And I was like, okay.
like I'm saying, like just perfect timing. I slugged my way out from my nap, and I was like, what are y'all watching?
Yeah, Kim was like, y'all are just watching a new anime without me.
And we literally were like, when did we say we were watching this with you?
Yeah, and at the time I didn't even know
now y'all are.
I didn't even know it was going to turn into something. I was just showing like the first episode to Kinsey.
And then we watched it.
Yeah.
And like, God. Well, you know what? I don't want to talk about my favorite part of that episode too soon. So let's just.
I have a secret to share with you. I've got my secret. Remember how we were sharing secrets the other day?
Yeah.
I've got one. Now you're going to say it on the podcast in front of millions.
I am.
Then how much of a secret is
1.5 million people will know your secret.
When we were watching Sk8 as a trio, I really wanted to watch the next episode, but you were busy. So Kaylin and I, after work, got Wendy's and watched the episode without you. And then we rewatched it with you.
I think I actually knew about that, and that's why I feel not bad at all whenever I do whatever I want.
I would usually never do that ever, but I think whatever episode was next, I really, really wanted to just watch it. So we were building up to like a really good one.
Oh, sure.
Kinsey did it.
But I would never do it any other time. I just didn't see Sk8 as like that big of a deal for us.
I'll keep doing it.
Okay, keep that in mind. Anyway. So, I really enjoyed showing it to you guys, and I'm really excited for Sk8 Season 2, and I'm glad. Honestly, I didn't expect you guys to like it as much as I did, just because, like, obviously I know a lot of anime you watch is very in-depth.
Who's that?
That is Colin's toaster.
Yeah, it was toaster.
I was about to yell
I just put my phone on Don't Disturb. But I know that Kaylin watches a lot of shows with really, like, some depth, you know? And I was just like, I don't know what Kinsey be watching, but here we go.
I think what I liked about it was how fun it was. Like,
you called it a rom-com.
I did, yeah. It was. I think if you take it too seriously when you're watching it, you're not gonna enjoy the fun of it. Like, that's
you like the vibe. It's like the same thing when you watch a rom-com. You're not expecting much. You're not expecting a good story. You're just expecting some vibes.
Mm-hmm. They had the awesome, mandatory beach episode that every anime, whether it's deep or chill, has, and I really love that. They always do. Yeah. They always do. But it's so good.
Joe was checking Cherry out on the beach by accident.
Why stop using something if it's not broken?
Yeah.
keep using.
And I think that they did really good for only a 12-episode anime. Like, they touched on so much in like only 12 episodes. And obviously, we talked about how Joe gives me gender envy, and I love that cancer man.
So if we went over about the characters,
Kinsey's the child.
Who Mariah wants to be? Joe. Who she is? Reki.
Honestly,
Caitlin.
that probably exists in the anime. I bet you Reki like looks up to Joe and he's like, I want to be just like Joe one day.
I'm like Joe. I'm like halfway there.
And you're like, you know what? Maybe.
Who I want to be? Longa. Who I am? Shadow.
Who I want to be? Longa or Cherry. Who I am? The child.
It's sad.
Competitive as fuck.
Well, he's good. Y'all can hit on the child all you want with his furry ass.
He is good.
He's like, meow.
He's
hey,
a
can
Leo.
you mute the furry ass part, actually?
We already roasted the furries a couple episodes ago.
We support the furries, man. It's not what it was about.
Well, actually, that one episode when Caitlin said she supports the furries at the end, I said, I don't care. I kept that all in.
Oh. Well.
I'll take it out anyway. You know what's so funny? Obviously, we just went through who everyone wants to be and who they are.
I have a furry friend, and they say it's okay if I make jokes like this. And I mean that actually, I do.
What's very funny is we were talking about that. I would like to bring up to you specifically. We talked about my 12th house and how it's a Leo. Reki's a Leo, and Joe's a Cancer. So I'm sitting over here like I would be it's Joe. So funny how it's flipped.
Yeah, in case you guys would like to know about Mariah's chart, she has a Leo 12th house, which means she just wants. Should I say it?
No, you don't have to.
All right, I'm gonna take that as a no, guys.
But anyone who's listening now knows.
If you pay for Patreon, maybe we'll let you see our charts.
You took the words out of my mouth. I was literally about to say that.
I think it's funny that they now know that I have a 12th house Leo, so they could put it together if they wanted.
No, they couldn't.
If
Sometimes
they know,
people have intercepted
but I'm saying
houses.
If they know what that means, they'll know. Anyway,
just
I have a 12th house in Scorpio.
No, I don't care. It was just funny. Anyway. So what did you think of the anime overall, Kinsey?
I love the anime. I feel like there's multiple genres in anime that people can enjoy. That's something I like about anime is that you don't have to just like one kind of genre to enjoy it. You know, if you're somebody who actually, goes steps outside, tastes new food, things like that, like you should try different genres of anime. And I love the feel-good animes where they're just funny or they have a little bit of romance. It doesn't have to be Attack on Titan, even though I love Attack on Titan. Just like a good feel-good anime. But
they're both like a time and place.
Oh, it's time and place. Yeah, I really liked it because we just flipped it on. It's a short anime. I love the characters.
We watched it like in the winter right before summer too, so we were getting hyped to like go buy a skateboard. Yeah,
something I really liked about Sk8 is I really liked the character designs.
Yeah.
And I think something about anime, people that always roast, they're like, all the characters look the same, but they really fucking don't. Like the color, okay, actually,
even like some of the side characters, like in
the color palettes, like the choice of clothing and how it represents their personalities and all that stuff. I don't know. I vibe with this so much.
And their skateboards.
I love Longa's skateboard and his color palette and I love his eye color with his hair color. I think it looks so good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel
I would agree. They were all very unique designs, and like you said, even like when they show up at S and they're all in their like characters, like their whole different persona, it like fit them all very well.
Except for Reki and Longa, they wore their school uniform.
Well, yeah, the difference is like
the
difference is they're like kids, where like the adults are like trying to live adult life while also going to S.
And even then, when Longa and Reki wear their regular clothes, I feel like their color palettes and their clothes choices really match them. And
Reki had his hoodie. They had their school uniforms during the day, but Reki always had his fucking work hoodie on. Mm-hmm. And Longa had gloves. He had gloves and a turtleneck.
Yeah, I don't know. I really like that. Those little things I feel like really can carry a character and make it feel different. And like if I just saw like a blurred silhouette of like a few, well not silhouette, but some of their colors, I feel like I can vibe out their characters so easy.
100%.
As an illustrator, I really love that. That's some of my favorite things about anime.
I would agree. Caitlin, what was your overall thoughts on the anime?
I really liked it too. Like, once in a while we show each other something that I feel like really like sparks the mood and like we watch it from beginning to end, like our Phantom phase. Like that movie Kinsey just showed us recently, which we'll be talking about later on in this podcast. But I just remember that time of our lives being like another spot of serotonin that like
it's really the definition of postgrad depression.
It spiked so high, like in how happy and fun it was, and like we did not stop watching it once we started. We like finished it as soon as we could catch up, and except for that one time. and watch it all together.
Yeah, I think like the last night we watched like 4 episodes together because we were almost done. Like those last 4 episodes, you can't stop. Like after the filler, you can't stop.
Mm-hmm. I got my really cool resin statue. I think acrylic statue or whatever the fuck for her. It's I really wanted.
Yeah, I got her this cool Joe pin and the board spins on it.
Yeah, that's super cool too.
And I agree with the comments about the character designs and like how good the characters are designed, but then also the characterization in the show. In all of their relationships, it's just very fun to watch because they're all friends. Except for Adam, they're all friends, and they all are just having fun skating. And then the romance, like whether we want to agree or disagree that there is one. Y'all, spoiler if y'all haven't seen the first 12 episodes to Sk8, aka Sk8 The Infinity.
Yeah, the one obviously like people would say like Joe and Cherry, like we can argue that, but I will die on any given hill to talk about Longa and Recky's relationship.
There's not.
Joe
if anything, there's
Cherry
least,
up and down.
Yeah,
on the
there's
beach.
at least an unrequited love.
Oh yeah,
Joe
no.
And Cherry. The way Joe was straight up wanted to eat that man up at the beach.
I just only will argue Recky and Longa just because Longa's like openly gay.
Yep.
Like it's canonly gay, not openly, but he's canonly gay. And like,
is he gay or bisexual? Is Recky the bisexual one?
Not canonly. There's no.
So is canonly Longa
like
gay?
When
not
the
bisexual?
when the writer wrote it, their full intention was to make Longa gay, even though it's not talked about or a plot point to him. They're like, Longa is gay. They said like in an interview. And Recky, they never talked about it.
We're going to wait till season 2 to figure out.
I'm like 99% sure that Longa's just gay. Longa, Sk8, gay.
Yeah, man, that's great. That's lovely.
And also, like, with the storytelling of...
Sorry, you'll never have a chance with him.
Whatever, he's fake.
But I totally get across with their romance. I think it could definitely exist in season 2, if not, I'll be sad. Because it feels very genuine.
Well, with the storytelling, like, overall was great, but then specifically between Recky and Longa, whether we want to call it a friendship, because at this point, they're not together. Yeah. So, watching their friendship throughout the story in tiny moments, like, we talked about that fucking hand scene at the very end. It's very intense to watch. I would say rom-com style, where you're getting hype, but you're also having fun watching it, but then you're also, like, rooting to see what happens, or, like, if they do get closer, or, what happened next.
I want to talk about this Twitter thread that I saw today. But I know we're going to get deeper into the actual show, so this is, like, going to talk about some of it. But I saw a Twitter thread today, or last night, talking about every single beef in Sk8, like how they start every race. And Longa always starts on the left side, and he skates goofy, so he skates facing with his right foot forward. So he's always facing away from his opponent.
That's how I skate.
Yeah, I do too.
Looks like I'm Longa.
Anyway, so he skates. Him and Adam are the only goofy skaters, and so every single race that Longa has had, he's always on the left side. And then when he faced Adam also faced left. And Adam always faces left on the right side so that he can face his opponents at all times. Because think about what he does when he skates. But I think it's also maybe like an intimidation thing, because every other skater skates the regular way, so they skate facing him. Adam's always on the right, and if these people are on their left facing normal, because they don't skate goofy, they're facing him the whole time, so they have to look at him in the eye as they're skating. And they could have, like, Longa could have switched so that he was facing Adam, but he chose not to, because that's the way he always faces. And then they were talking about the one race where he, like, almost lost. He was on the other side, whoever he went against, I don't remember. The only time he had comfortably faced the other way was when he was going against Recky, so that they could face each other.
What?
I'll just send you the tweet thread later.
See, I like those tiny details. That's
exactly
what I'm talking about.
Demisexual things.
I know. I know.
I'm glad that they took their time with the 12 episodes, because it's very saturated and with quality. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, every single episode's filled with a lot of information. I think they did really good with just the 12. But what?
Nothing.
I have to pee.
What's so funny is I have to pee too.
This is our weekly pee break on the podcast. Caitlin, do some songs.
Bop, bop, bop.
And we just wanted to bring to you a new product that we're being sponsored for. Caitlin, where's the music?
Ba, ba, da, da. Right, if it's a product, it could go something like You're listening to Tide Podcast or Pods. Your favorite snack.
I'm singing for you, Kayla.
Oh, so I keep talking?
It's all right. I think. Oh, and thanks for watching the podcast.
On sale at your nearest Kroger's.
Yes.
I think she's done with her piss because I got pissed too.
Yeah, Mariah, can you introduce our next sponsor?
What was the first one?
It was Tide Pods.
Oh, well, our other sponsor is brought to you by Squishmallows. Have you ever needed a stuffed animal that's perfect as a plushie and a pillow? Get yourself a Squishmallow. They're perfect for decor, pillows, and accessories because we have backpacks now.
Damn, this is long. It's funny.
And if you need more info, just message us at postcreditdepression@gmail.com. Because we got plenty. The next sponsor is brought to you by Mariah's Stutter because it never ends. So anyway, aside from the relationships like in Sk8, we're gonna talk about I think I'll try to touch main points. So obviously the relationship between Reki and Langa very important for the first episodes of the season. How did you feel when they showed us the child the first time?
Okay, first of all, the child's personality is absolutely horrendous. But you can't deny that he's a child prodigy.
Oh, yeah.
He's so talented, very good.
And he ain't got friends.
Well, he works really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Because he loves what he does.
It's you're allowed to be cocky when you work that hard.
I have nothing to say.
You can't be mean, though.
My brother loved him. He was calling me a slime for a week after this. After the couple episodes. Yeah, he was that. He's why do y'all hate on him for? I'm because he's a child. He's annoying. My brother's he's annoying because he's good. He's allowed to be annoying.
Well, we're adults, so whenever there's in Genshin, the children characters, I'm yeah, that's not needed.
Well, Elijah was just y'all are hating him for no reason, and I was don't care. I'm not gonna lie. I think when I think about Sk8 more, I'm yeah, you're right. He was really good. I can't hate him as much as I do, but he's a child.
He's better than Reki.
Instead of children being
Bro, he dogged on Reki. You remember?
I know.
He was just why do you hate? He literally walked into Langa and was when you hang out with slimes, that's what you become. And I was you're talking about Reki? You're talking about Reki? My boy Reki over there?
He's the one that started us off in the show. He's I love to skate.
Bro, I love the beginning of the show when he brings in that little quote talking about how he's happiness and how he has to find it. And then it comes around 360 at the end and he has a whole realization, repeats the poem.
I love that stuff.
I was just telling Kinsey, I was I love good parallel. I love when things like that come around full circle. Because the show starts and ends with him having a little quote to himself. It's so cute.
Again, very saturated show, lots of quality, and that's the kind of shit I'm talking about. Eat it right up.
I'm gonna say something controversial.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I don't like Reki's voice actor.
Yeah, we watched it in English. When I first watched it, I watched it in Japanese, and then I told them that I heard it was funnier in English. Which it was. And so we watched it in English.
Say the thing we always think about.
Bitches, bros, and non-binary hoes.
That's how we should have. That's how I should have introduced the podcast. I should have said, "What's up, bitches, bros, and non-binary hoes? You're listening to the Post-Credit Depression."
That would have been hilarious.
Back to children, real quick, just to touch on it.
Just to touch on it.
Listen, shut up. Cut that.
Back to children.
I get really annoyed in anime, Genshin, any fucking party of people, and there's a side character child. It's so tropey in animes. I would much rather see a side character old guy that's he's really fucking funny. His name's Jim Bean, and he is minor, and he goes along with them and helps them find cool shit.
You don't make me feel more uncomfortable about
you mean
the
a
child.
minor mining? Yes. Okay, Caitlin, when you said minor, I
I thought we were getting rid of him.
Minor. Why are you hanging out with people pretending he's a minor?
What made me feel the most uncomfortable about the child in Sk8 was the fact that he hung out with Shadow all the time.
That was uncomfortable.
When they put the duos together, it was Reki Langa, Cherry Joe, Shadow and the child.
They really should have
It's because they were
they should have
yeah, that's what it is. They were side characters show up together.
They should have explained. Maybe does Shadow babysit him? Are they family friends? It's just some random adult man with this kid, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
And the short explanation for it is the writer purposely wrote Joe and Cherry to have some interest in one another, even though it's unrequited, whatever. And then not canonly, but canonly. Reki and Langa, but
so what are you trying to say?
I'm saying that they're the leftovers.
They were just leftover side characters, so they were we can't make them just show up casually separated, because the truth is Maya can't get there by himself. You need someone to
what
drive
do you do? Make trios, put the child with like the high schoolers and put Shadow with... Nah.
So they were just kind of like, just ride them in together. So, I mean, other than, obviously...
I just need to see more old people in anime, thank you.
One of my favorite twists was to find out that, like, Child and Adam had, like, a connection, like, that Adam was, like, sponsoring him and, like, training him. Like, I didn't see that coming at all.
Yeah. I didn't necessarily plan it, but it made so much sense. Yeah. I was like, well, if he's a child prodigy, of course Adam would be sponsoring him so that he can one day beat his ass.
And I love that Adam was testing him by being like, go against Longa, because he's like this new fresh meat in town. Go against him and prove to me that you're still worth investing in.
That's like actually so scary to think that Adam was like involved with a kid.
I think it was a test on both. Like he was testing Maya, but he was also like, if Longa's as good as everyone, I'm looking and seeing, and everyone's saying he is, I need to see if he's really that good so I can go against him. Or if it was just sheer luck.
I understand the fact that Adam is involved with the child that much that he sponsors him. Like, as we see throughout the show, towards the end, that Adam is, like,
we'll
psychologically insane.
I mean, but he's a pro skater, so of course he's going to sponsor any kids that need, that, like, he sees hope in.
I know, but when we see why
it's I don't think that his intentions with the child were the same as Longa. I think there were two intentions. I think he was just like, here's my presence in the skating world, but also he was like, Longa is the Eve to my Adam. Like, I think those were two.
He was into Longa?
No,
remember he uses that reference.
You said their intentions were different. I was like, what do you mean? The intentions are the same.
Well, I think the intentions were different in the sense of he was just like, he enjoyed skating, want to encourage and sponsor young children in skating because that's what he wanted as a child. He didn't get that. But when it came to Longa, he was like, I think I found someone that can enter this other realm with me. Like, he's so good that
I thought he was like helping the child to eventually beat him.
No. I think that Adam saw Longa as a natural born, which Adam was also a natural born. I think Adam just also enjoyed helping kids skate because that's what he never got.
That's another thing in the show that I don't agree with is natural born talent. I don't think that it exists.
I think it's
I thought that was really silly.
I think it's the fact that Longa, he had background. That's like even Cherry's like, oh, he is like a professional.
It's not the
snowboarder from like such a young age, and Reki probably started, let's say, at earliest middle school, whereas like Longa was probably a toddler on the fucking ice.
I don't think it's the natural born that actually Adam had. Exactly. Adam and Longa were not naturally born. I think that Longa had a different, like, I don't know, like, not headspace, but he had a different headspace when it came to, like, how he perceived skating. Like, it wasn't just an activity to do it. I think that's how Adam viewed it, too. Because, like, when he talked about it, he was like, when we skate, we enter this zone because we're so in lock.
Special interest. Like, he's like, you like it as much as I like it. Exactly. Which is why you are even able to
lock in like I can.
It's not necessarily talent. It's more like he's just
think about it. Whenever, yeah, exactly. I think that skating was a different thing for Adam and for Longa.
Yeah.
So it wasn't necessarily the talent. Because if talent was the case, then Adam would have saw people like Joe and Cherry just as talented, and he didn't. It wasn't talent.
Yeah, Cherry's about to beat him that race.
I guess you could necessarily say skill. If it was about skill.
Yeah, it wasn't skill or talent, like, or any of that. It was something different cognitively that he was like, you're different. I like that.
I like that.
And Adam also never gave Cherry or Joe a fair chance to beat him, even though he kept saying the reason why he didn't face it because they weren't good enough. Which, I mean, how can you argue that when you haven't gone against them in 10 years?
Hey, when Joe was skateboarding with, like, a push-up, remember?
Bro, when Joe anytime skateboarded, he did that, and his muscles, he was like a transformer. He was like...
I hate when anime does that. I'm like,
I didn't like
it's just a body.
I liked when Joe skated, and he took his board, and it was in his hands, and then he pushed off of the wall with his thighs. I was like, damn, look at him. Yeah.
Girl.
Joe was impressive. I mean, the impressive part of Joe skating is the fact that he probably weighed a good, like, 225, 230, like, realistically, with all that muscle mass, and he was still able to skate as efficiently and as aerodynamic as he did.
Well, he's going to go faster down a hill because he's heavier.
Yeah, but, like, I'm talking like the aerodynamics, he should have slowed him down, how big and buff he is. And he was able to efficiently take sharp turns with his body being top-heavy. That's impressive.
Well, we don't know if it's actually that doable since it's an anime.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
Anime be doing, like, the unreal shit.
Yep, you got a point there.
But in real life, if he was capable of doing that, he would be a very skilled person.
And then Cherry showed up with this fucking Alexa-ass skateboard.
That'd be Mariah. That'd be Mariah in the show.
First, her name was Carla.
Carla.
Like,
Carla, show me the measurements of this turn. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, and I remember Kenzie was Carla like, isn't that cheating?
Activated into a longboard.
definitely
cheating. I can't even say you're still to
Carla was over here taking measurements.
Put any engineer in, and they do better, I guess.
Carla was like, if you go 45 miles per hour for 5 seconds, you will beat him.
You will beat him.
God damn.
And then like everybody else over here's like,
yeah,
like testing the wind with their finger.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
SpongeBob with his rock.
Oh my gosh. Now we're going to touch on why you tell me that I'm very much like Reki. When Longa decided to do that race against Adam, even though Reki said not to, Reki decided to just self-isolate and self-loathe.
And Longa's like, wait,
you know what's so weird, Mar? I love you. I don't like Reki.
Understandable.
And I'm like, I guess
there's other parts of Reki that I don't do. Reki, I think it's like some emotions that Reki does. It says Reki's a Leo, so he does it from a selfish reason. No, his emotional part, the part of like isolating and stuff, and I don't. You said chowder blink. like for instance, like when I decided to remove all my belongings from your guys' apartment and decide that we were no longer friends, it wasn't from like a selfish part. Like I was mad at you guys for doing something against me. I was just like, well, I guess they like don't like me anymore, so like I'll just make it easier for them and like remove myself. But Reki was like, well, Longa didn't fucking listen to me, and I care about him, so what an asshole of him to do. So I'm ignoring him.
Yeah. I think it's just like Reki's, because it's not like you, it's just like his competitiveness. It's weird because we've all been there. We've all had a tough time. I feel like every human being has, where you're feeling competitive, you need to be the best, and you might get booty hurt when other people are doing better. But I think it's like the intensity at which he cared about it.
It was a little severe.
I was like, girl, chill out. If you want to get better, show up.
Yeah, because it wasn't necessarily the part of like Longa like bailing on him. I think while Longa was bailing, he was reflecting, being like, "Is it because I suck? Is that why Longa doesn't want?" Like, I think internally he was like, "Longa wants to go against Adam because like I'm not good enough for him. Like I suck at competing."
That's the silly part to me is that I'm like, Reki, why are you taking it so personally? Why are you like projecting?
Like it started out as I remember he was watching to teach your friend how to skate,
and then the moment he gets a little better than you.
I remember after he agreed to go. After he agreed to, I don't know what the hell I did that for. I pulled my whole leg. After he agreed to go against that fight with Longa or with Adam, Reki was like watching a video footage of him on his phone. He was like, "I taught him that trick."
I know.
He was like, just last week he couldn't even do an ollie, and now he's doing this.
But at the end of the day, it's not about somebody helping you.
It was very selfish.
They did the effort to do it, and just like Reki, somebody had to teach Reki, or Reki had to learn from somewhere. It's not like he pulled the ollie out of his ass and invented it.
Yeah, he mentions at the beginning of the show that he had a friend that taught him how to skate, and his friend got hurt.
Exactly. So I just don't like that mentality at all. Like I can sit here and feel a little bad for him just because I think every emotion is valid. But then what do you do with the emotion?
Yeah, I think that specific emotion was really shit.
I think the intensity he did it, and then the way he treated Longa specifically for it. Like if he just wanted space, like I just need some space, like leave me alone. He was getting very pouty.
Yeah, if you need to process your feelings, understandable because human emotions are normal. But like, is what he did with it, is how he treated Longa, and it like I have this bad taste in my mouth for Reki. But I think it's just everybody obviously has their own anime favorites. I'm not trying to say he can't be a favorite of anybody, but like I was like, oh, I don't like that.
I think for a skating anime too, it's like maybe even a good subject or topic to talk about because like it's a sport, you know. And I think seeing that dynamic between like, you know, friends, and then coming around saying, like, you know what mattered at the end of the day was my friend. And, like, that was
which is what he did come around to remember.
Yeah, I was like, let's
he said,
remember.
I forgot skating is fun.
Because, like, Reki had done it all his life, and then seeing somebody who just shows up and, like, accomplishes something either faster or something he hasn't yet is going to upset him. And I was like, okay, I mean, as long as you came around. As long as you came around. Because I never said having the human emotions were ever bad. It's just like,
you need time to process. I think that the issue is actually both of their personalities were both, like, I think Reki and Longa both made the situation more, like, elaborate than it should have been. Like, if Longa from the beginning would have just been truthful about going against Adam, or, like, why he wanted to go against Adam, Reki would never have had this, like, spiral of, like, being upset at him. And if Reki would have just spoken to him instead of being all weird and not showing up whenever he wanted to talk to him.
And being honest about just how he's feeling.
Yeah, the truth is both of them just needed to communicate better, but they are children.
We gotta admit, these people are in high school.
So, And that's the thing. Like I've seen people on like Twitter argue like Reki was all in the wrong, and it's like no, Longa also lied and didn't talk to him.
That is true. He could have just said like, I know this is gonna upset you, but I will do it, and like, sorry.
And
like,
he had good reasons to do it. He just didn't want to tell him.
And the crazy thing is, I don't think one person was mainly wrong or one person started it. I don't think any of that. I think they both didn't communicate at times where they should have.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And I think that for this anime, like being such a fun show overall, we didn't, besides Adam being our like villain.
Yeah, we should touch on that next.
Like a lot of other shows have like a main antagonist, a main villain, a main problem, and I feel like just talking about like some homies having like miscommunications or like beef, like and then squashing it by the end of the show. Like
he's like, I forgot skating's supposed to be fun.
It's such a sweet part too, because like you honestly just like you're like, please forgive each other. Like you root for them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Before we go into bashing Adam, I remember the first time I watched it. Obviously, I hated Adam because he comes across as like a whole pedophile.
Yes.
But I do remember for a small moment having so much like sympathy for him. I was like, poor guy got abused at home, and all he wanted to do was skate. And like he had these friends that didn't go to the same school as him that like showed him like some secrets of skating. And I was like, wow, we love a good trio. I have that picture of Joe, Cherry, and Adam on my watch. Actually, the one of them is children.
I do like the picture.
It's like one of my favorite pictures of them. It's so precious. And I don't know where Adam went wrong in his life to turn into the person that he is. Well, he did say that pain is love.
I think potentially with the abuse, obviously, like you just said, pain is love. And then if he was in a life where he was never allowed to express himself, I think, or anything he did was never enough. Him liking skateboarding and then being enough to other people is what he had latched onto, and then he made his self-value, his self-worth all tied to skateboarding, and then obsessed over it, and then became insane. Which I feel like, honestly, something that a lot of people do. I think it's something a lot of people do. When you're told your whole life by your parents like that your accomplishments matter more, which happens in almost every single household, you're going to tie your self-worth and who you are to that. Just imagine being a skateboarder all your life and then randomly your leg get cut off or get bitten off by a shark or something and you can't do it. Like there's no way to do it. Not like cool amputee people. I'm just saying like there's no way for you to do this thing and you self-identified your entire life. It's going to be a crazy tower moment where you just have this like horrible realization.
You have to rebrand fully.
You have to rebrand, and you also have to realize that when you rebrand, you can't make the things you love who you are.
Yeah.
You know, they're a part of you, but they're not you.
Yeah, so like, I mean, he invested into skateboarding like at a young age, thanks to his little servant boy that was also forced to be his friend as a child. And
very weird dynamic sometimes in the show, but you know.
And so his
it's fun.
I don't think he had moms or dads. I think it was just his aunts, right? So like his aunts raised him.
I think it was nuns, right?
No, they were his aunts. And they were like, you are going to take on the hair of the business one day, so you need to be a fucking professional little prissy boy and not a skateboarder. And I think that, again, that's why they were so good at keeping up secret identities while they were skating at S. Like, he still managed to do both.
Yeah.
Even though skating was, like, his only love. The matador of love.
Mackenzie's right. Like, yeah, you definitely can't self-identify too much. That was, like, one of the conversations I had with my aunt when I went on that vacation. I was talking with my cousin about how it's cringy for men to have pictures of them fishing on their like profile pictures and when they're bragging about their boats and shit like that. And she's like, well, I want me a man who can hunt and fish. And I'm like, that's not the point, Gloria. I was like, the point is it's overcompensating for like a personality. And like when you highlight those things, like you're not highlighting who you are. I don't want to get to know you. I'm like, cool, you fish.
You only got fish photos and it's you holding up a bigger catch.
Dead animals, like,
like, what else you do?
I was like,
and that's true.
She's like, what about your Dungeons and Dragons? Like, would you not, like, if they had pictures? I'm like, if that's their only personality, yes, Aunt Gloria, no, I wouldn't. I said that.
Dude, yeah. If somebody only liked one thing and only ever liked talking about one thing, sorry, it's not working out.
And I think that's how Adam was. Like, he only identified as this awesome skater.
He's that one guy from the show you watched who's like, I want to talk only about my interest, hyperfixations, and nothing else.
From Love is Blind, where he cut the girl off and was like, let's change the subject and only talk about what I like.
Insane. And then Adam was just putting on like a mask to go pretend that he was a CEO. Like, I skate all night, pretend to be CEO in the morning.
No, not Love is Blind. Love on the Spectrum.
Love on the Spectrum.
I love that
but
show
I think that the whole time I was like, Adam's just gonna get worse and worse. Like he fucking tortured Longa, beat the shit out of Cherry, beat the shit out of Reki. So I was like, damn, like this guy literally sucks. And at the end, when like he literally comes around and he's like with the team again, like as a good guy, I was like, hold on a second.
Beat the shit out of you, Cherry. You're just gonna not forget that?
And I genuinely think, well, there's also the theories that Cherry was in love with Adam when they were younger. So like Cherry's like takes him back.
Wait, hold on.
Oh yeah.
Cherry was in love with Adam?
Yeah. If you look at like some of the stills from like when they were in high school, I think that when Joe's talking, it's kind of like implied. I don't know. Maybe we're just fucking queer baiting.
No, I'm not saying that's
it's
bad.
implied. No, I'm just for the listeners.
Wow.
I think that it's kind of implied that Cherry was in love with Adam. Like he was very fascinated with Adam.
Shows the unrequited love for Cherry.
Mm-hmm.
And then he compensates for it.
I don't get any flirting back.
I don't think there's any flirting there, but I think that I think that I don't know what they're gonna do now that Adam's like a quote unquote good guy now. But I do think that
Love triangle.
Yeah,
I was gonna say Joe is compensating for it with women.
Yeah, I think that it's like implied that Cherry still like does not necessarily love Adam, but has some sort of like fascination with Adam. Like when he's like,
is it feelings though? Is what I'm saying.
I couldn't tell you. I think that if you love someone,
feelings with somebody and fascination.
I think that if you love someone and then they like really hurt you, and you were like, but you never got like that
closure.
Not even closure, but like finalization. Like if they actually did like you,
That's closure.
Yeah, you never got that proper closure, and then they just came back, and you were kind of like, I'm mad at you. So let me get back at you.
So it's like
but
confusion.
I think that maybe
like
she's
hidden
still
feelings, and on top of it, probably like anger.
Like maybe deep down, Cherry still in this world. Cherry did still like Adam, but he was like, I just want to get back at you for what you did to me, though. Mm-hmm. So and yeah, maybe Joe makes what you say compensates with all the girls he makes out with.
What lucky women.
Bro, I love that the first scene you see of Joe, when he's not even relevant, it's just the opening when Reki's doing his little monologue. Joe's there, kisses a girl, turns, kisses the other girl, and you don't even know who he is yet. At that point, he's just like a background character.
You're like, that's fucking hot.
Yeah. It's fine. And then you find out he's a cancer man, and you're like, fuck. Makes sense.
He wants his mommy.
Yeah.
That's why he's around tons of girls.
Man, my favorite fucking part is like he's checking out Cherry on the beach. Like, it's so funny. So you're like, that to me is confirmation from the writer that like something's going on. There's some sort of like tension between the two.
Yeah.
Maybe Cherry is attracted to Joe, but still isn't over Adam. And it's just like, get out of my bubble, my Alexa bubble.
Yeah. Imagine having a player friend too, where you're just like disgusted by their like immature behavior.
I already got hurt from Adam. Why the fuck would I even entertain Joe?
Then we can jump to the end where after Reki has that whole realization that he actually loves skating and it's for fun. Which I honestly, the show isn't that deep, but like that realization for him where he was just like, this is supposed to be fun. It was like so sweet because I was like, you're right, Reki. Like things I do in my life, I don't do them because they're supposed to be this serious thing. Like I do them because I enjoy doing them. That should be my life. So I can see that hit home for a second.
Yeah, it definitely hit home for me. But also just hearing you say it, I was like, hit home for you too, huh?
Yeah. It's fine.
Deep, Virgo plays.
That's the idea that like, I know Reki was sad that he wasn't good. He was like, shit, I didn't do this to be the best. I did this because it's something I enjoy doing.
Yeah, I think it's like he got to a point where he was only caring about being the best.
Yeah.
When there's so much more to a hobby or skill or even a career than being the best. And essentially you'll never be the best. You can be the best to you, and you can be very, very proud of that. How come being the best you isn't being taught as like just as equivalent or equal to quote unquote potentially being the best?
I feel like I went through that going to Lightbox. We talked about it and like had that realization. Like I remember freaking out, feeling like I didn't have my stuff together enough, as well as like just always thinking about what people thought of my work. And like coming back, I was like, you know what? I actually do this because it's fun, and I feel so inspired to do even more stuff. And I don't even care anymore.
What's cool about skating or anything is that like you are you, and you can make it different by who you are. Like he could make up new tricks, he could make new boards.
That's what I was just gonna say. I think
he could put himself into it that nobody would ever be able to copy. But when you just belittle it down to who's the fastest, like that's got no depth, that's got no substance to it, and that's not what matters. Who can draw the best human eye isn't what matters.
And I think Reki really had that realization, which I hope in season 2 they touch on, about him being able to make those cool boards and make adjustments. Like when he had that realization that he put those wheels on the board because it was gonna rain, which meant the roads were going to be slick, so he had those fancy wheels for the rain. And like the fact that he was able to just whip up boards left and right for Longa, I really think that he touched on like a way that he can really succeed in the skate industry if it's not the best skater.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing is that that's not the only thing out there.
Yeah.
It's not even the only thing that's worth that much,
Yeah.
I think that too, like, not just Reki, like, I think it's cool how unique all the characters are with skating styles. We talked about their character designs, their characters, but like, yeah, I think that they each brought something different to the table that was entertaining, and that's what made it fun, because, like, you're right, like, if it was just, like, two guys racing and that's the anime, like, I would not be interested.
And they all did skating for fun. Like, they all had dreams, aspirations. Joe's like, I want to be a famous fucking chef one day. But he's skating because it's something that he likes doing for fun.
Yeah, and you can make it your career, but at the same time, do it for what is it about you that's
what is it about skating
right?
that makes you like it?
Because, I mean, I guess Cherry and Joe like it enough to keep doing it, but they don't make it their career. And that doesn't mean they don't like it enough. It's just like every person's different. Like, there's other artists out there that don't make it their career, but they love to draw. They'll do it every day,
Some pursuit of happiness shit.
That's what, like, Cherry's a whole on like famous author. Girls like swoon over him, and he's like, but I like to when midnight rolls around to go be Cherry at the skating ring. So,
looks like we need alter egos.
Anybody likes to go off?
We should totally do alter egos.
Your 12th house. You're like, we should totally.
We should just like embrace our Venus placements.
Yeah, according to my chart, I'm not gonna tell you guys because you have to pay for it in the Patreon. But according to my chart, if I want to accomplish my dreams, I have to just say and act as if I'm the person I want to be. So essentially, I get to do that every day.
I have to ask.
I already gave mine out for free.
I have to ask for. I have to ask for more than enough abundance.
Mariah basically's got to be greedy, is what it is, according to her chart.
Can't remember Caitlin's.
Caitlin's is in. So she has to be organized.
I saw the. Did not see the word.
I was trying not to say it. Why
just
did
cut
you
it. Just cut it.
Anyway,
Bleep it.
Like I think hers has to do with organization and like breaking things down into steps.
I think so.
Something like that.
So
boots and boots and
I have to pee
and
fucking
serving
again.
others.
We need to touch on the end. So then we get to the end, where Adam finally faces Longa, what we've been building up to for the last 5 episodes.
And he loses.
Does he lose?
Adam loses.
Oh, I was like, did Longa lose? That why?
I was trying to do a spoiler
so
thing.
they do have the whole build up and they're racing, but there's like what happened? Didn't the shit get damaged the race before, so they can't race it? They have to race the old track.
Yeah, but I think they damaged it on purpose.
I don't think they did. I think something happened like the day before. Like maybe the police did some shit. Doesn't matter. Regardless, something happens and they can't race the usual S track. And in the flashback, when you're learning about Adam's history, you find out that he has a history of quote-unquote pushing people off the edge, but it's not really what happened. And so Longa's racing on this old track, and they mentioned, they're like, this track is actually really dangerous. That's why we stopped skating on it. Like, it's deadly. Deadly. We're going to do it anyway. And they're going through the whole race sequence. Actually, Adam's uniform gets ruined in the rain after he almost loses to Reki. And he shows up to that tailor. He's like, I need a new suit.
Oh, and he comes like a parrot, basically.
Yeah, he comes back with his whole black suit and these, like, bones over his face. It's like a whole dramatic sequence. Longa shows up in his fucking school uniform.
We were bringing up Phantom of the Opera because he gave off such Phantom vibes, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I would say out of all their, like, alter egos, Adams was, like, fully a different person. Like, Joe was like, yeah, I let my hair down and I'm topless, you know.
They call it, like, a mask. They put a little mask on. He takes his skin off and puts somebody else's on.
Yeah. And he's doing this race, and it's, like, getting dangerous because Adam does this thing where he goes into the zone, which is, like, this headspace where, like, any really good athlete can, like, lock into. Like, I would argue maybe, like, if it was a real thing, like, Steph Curry can do it. Michael Jordan could do it. Like, Michael Phelps probably did it. Yeah. I don't think I've ever been in the zone before.
Really?
Yeah, I guess maybe it's like a different concept. Like,
I'm not saying I'm not any Olympic.
You're not crazy, but there's like a zone where you're doing sports.
People.
No, I was just saying I'm not an amazing athlete. I'm just saying, like, when I did gymnastics and cheer, I would put myself in that zone. It was like this.
The different headspace.
It was like this indestructible zone where I was determined to win, and I'd always win. Or
you're
at least
like
I would always
person.
do really good, and I had like this confidence and self assurance that I would not fail.
I would agree. When I played basketball, it was almost like I didn't matter what anyone like not on the court said or did. Like, you zoned them out. You were focused on your goal.
It was predatory.
And I think that, like, if I do Caitlin back there, she'd be like, Mariah, you're like an asshole when you play. And I'm like, no, I'm just in the zone. Like, I remember my friend Val.
I didn't like push people like
my cancer self. It's
a physical sport. my friend Val, cancer self. We used to play. She played basketball just her junior senior year for no fucking reason. She's not athletic. She just wanted to do an activity with people, and I did basketball. She did it. She didn't get to play. And I remember when we would practice and we would play games, I would get like mad at her. She'd be like, "Why are you mad?" I was like, "I'm not mad at you, but like we're playing a fucking game. You're not my friend right now. Play the game. Like, we need to win. So either do it right or don't.
Would be like
do it.
Dragging themselves on the fucking court, like notice me, and you're like, I'm literally trying to get this ball in the hoop. Shut the fuck up.
That's like the reality. Is like, I think that I was like in the zone where my only goal was for you to pass me the ball, for me to elbow the girl behind me, and for me to shoot the ball in the net.
Well, your goal I actually was trying to make a point,
and that's it.
I was trying to make a point because you hurt my feelings, so I didn't pass the ball. Fuck you.
I would actually murder my teammate.
I would have gotten so mad if someone did that. I had a friend of my team who like at a point was getting mad because I was scoring so much, and I was like, "Does it matter who's scoring as long as we're winning? Does it matter?
Absolutely.
No, as long as we're winning. If I'm open and I'm 6'2" and the net is right there, pass me the ball. I don't care if you can drive and possibly get an and one. Pass me the ball.
Sucks to be short.
Yeah, it does. Anyway, so yes, I definitely think this zone exists, and maybe I didn't see it on the same plane as Adam did, but
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't beat people up.
I didn't beat people up.
No, I'm talking about Adam. I'm talking about Adam. How he beat the shit out.
In the last scene, he didn't really go against. He didn't physically beat anyone up, but he like was in this headspace where he was basically like skating like mindlessly. I was scared of him. He had the faith in his body to do the right thing. I think that's how it was perceived. Like he just like exited his soul. He's like, my body will make the right decision. And Langa accidentally entered this zone setting, but he was not prepared for what had happened. It was the first time he's done that. And homeboy almost died. Saw his whole ass dad. And then came through and then somehow beat Adam at the end. And that was the first race Adam's ever lost.
I think Adam so much appreciated it though. Like he was like, oh my god, the feeling of not winning. He's like, I have to work harder.
Yes, exactly. I think it was a real realization for him. He's like, I can't just casually do this. Like, I have to work and keep improving. I'm not the best. Mm-hmm. And I think that maybe it's like a good character for him. Like maybe like, because obviously we know at the end he's not like the bad guy anymore. Maybe he's like, wow, like I can actually just like be a normal person who enjoys skating like they do and just casually improve myself. Like I don't have to hold myself up to this pedestal that's always been there.
Realizes he's not a god. He's like I'm mortal.
Why does he give Aquarius vibes like the Wanderer does?
Yes. He's like, I can die. God. My life has an ending.
Yeah, and I think it was so precious. I also want to touch on, even though we're in the last episode, I want to go back to the first episode when you first.
Okay. You're right.
You first saw Langa go on the stair rail. He comes and does the flip in the air, and the electricity's going.
Yeah, that was magical. Also,
and Reki
here's the
was
thing:
like,
when he duct taped his feet. So I was watching the show. Like I said, just dragged myself out of bed. I was sitting down watching this, and like all the talking bits before even building up to the skate, I was like watching just to pay attention. Mm-hmm. And then he duct tapes this, and I'm like, all right, what sort of anime trope tricks are we going to pull out our ass to make this guy who's never skated before good? And when he was like feeling the wind in his hair, I was like, oh, I screamed, like, he's from Canada.
She literally screamed that.
He said, he's from Canada. And then it had the flash to snow.
He was like, and for the first time ever, I swear it snowed here in whatever city they live in. And you were just like, he's Canadian.
Sure they live in Japan.
Yeah, but they live in like a little island. I can't remember what it's called.
And it showed his little like vision of snow that he was snowboarding, and I was like, "Whoa!" And yeah, that amazing scene of him.
Yeah, Kaylin had an out of body experience during this scene.
And then the next episode, he sucked, and I was like, "Dang, now he has to train. I guess he doesn't know how to skate."
It's a training arc.
Like, how does he know? Like, how does he not know how to stand on a skateboard or stop? But then, like, he just was like, "I know how to skate on these bars and these crazy ass turns." And then, like, the next episode, he's like, actually, I trip over everything. It was funny, but
yeah,
it was interesting.
Because he was in the zone. That's why. Yeah. When he's not feeling, when he's skating, if he's
literally says it. He's like, I feel it in my chest. He's said that.
You have to be in the moment. Oh my gosh, why do I feel like I'm doing such a universal sign? Because that's how I feel when I'm drawing. If I'm just drawing and having fun, feeling it, I draw really well. If I'm thinking about it, I do absolutely.
Which is why when Reki wasn't his friend, he was kind of like not enjoying it because he found skating with Reki. So when that one scene where he's skating without Reki, he's like, I don't feel it anymore. He's like, I'm not feeling like the joy.
That would suck if you attached a hobby to a person.
Well, it's because imagine if you didn't know how to draw and I started showing you how to draw. feel like it was an activity you and I did together for the first time, and then I just was like, we're not friends anymore. And you were like, well, I really like drawing, but every time we did it, you just got sad because like I
would say I
guess I just have too many fire signs. I would just do it.
Kinsey's talked me out of like that kind of stuff before, because I've let previous friendships, like where maybe they ended pretty bad and I had bad memories from the friendship, affect whatever, like the show we watched or the hobby. And it would get to me. Like I would like full on get rid of like little memorabilities of that.
Yeah, I don't think I could ever do that. Like you said, I think I was just like sympathizing with Longa in the moment.
I guess I couldn't sympathize with him. Is what I'm saying. I was just like, if you like something, just do it.
Yeah, when she said that to me, I was like,
because there are some things that have been connected to old friends where I was like, okay, maybe I can't watch this show for like a while. And then I pull it up maybe like 2 weeks later. I'd be like, yeah, it's a good show. It's not their show. It's something I like. I'm gonna go enjoy it.
I think whenever I have memories like that, I kind of like will just say it like, I'm like, I remember my friend and I did this. It doesn't make me sad, but everyone thought it's kind of like a bittersweet moment. Like when Val and I weren't friends for that time, I remember the first time we buffalo chicken dip with you, I was like, God doesn't eat buffalo chicken dip anymore. The last time we made it, she threw up.
Well, I feel like it's water moon signs.
But I like moved on. I was like, but I can still eat it. Like, it's like a moment. Maybe my Virgo's like, okay, but logically that doesn't make sense. Anyway.
I actually wanted to say for the listeners that have ever struggled with a feeling like that, where like maybe watch something that was a previous friendship.
Reclaim it.
And I think when I rewatched, certain animes with you, Kinsey, or certain movies, and I got to laugh again at them with like, either a new friendship, but also just like, it felt like I reclaimed it. I'm like, it doesn't belong to that friend. Like your dip. It's like,
it's literally like, I reclaimed the N word. No, it's the same. That's what happened. That's why we use it. It's like women using the word bitch. You're reclaiming it. Yeah. It's like when we go to Fresh Planet, you're reclaiming it.
I am.
Like, it's like, I tell Kinsey all the time, like, we need to start forcing ourselves to go places that make us sad.
Yeah, I think
make a good memory attached to it.
It feels good because I think I definitely let too many things like slip out because of that. So I think with Longa and Reki, the situation with it is also
I think it was too fresh. Too fresh and so clean.
Yeah, because sometimes I do need a break. You know what I mean? Like, I think obviously if they like split for good, like they might need a break from it. Kind of like Adam, Cherry, and Joe, but they come back around to it.
I just hope that eventually, I hope eventually that Longa does not attach skateboarding to just because Reki showed him.
I think what also hurt him is that he attached snowboarding to his dad who passed away. So then he saw Reki leaving and he was kind of like revisiting those feelings. And I think that's what made it hard. It wasn't just like someone losing someone. It was like he had to like almost he was attaching that like grieving emotion.
Yeah, no, Ken, I don't think you get
so
it.
I think I meant
he was reclaiming skating. Before it was something he did with his dad, so then he stopped, and then he's like, actually,
I'm saying that like I'm saying that I think that's why it was so much harder for him to quote unquote lose Reki is because it was more of an intense emotion because he was like, my dad died and it was something we did together and I never got a chance to do it again. And since he never got over that hurdle of skateboarding, I think he was still kind of grieving his dad in the same sense.
Yes.
Like
basically he attaches his father to snowboarding, then bam, can't snowboard anymore because his dad's dead and he moved away. So now he's attaching this new thing, skateboarding with Reki. Reki left him. How can he skateboard again without Reki?
It almost brought up those same feelings of when his dad died.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's deep.
Whoa.
But I think it'll be interesting to see what season 2 is going to hold. I think the interesting thing about Skate is that it's not based off a manga, so it's really hard to like kind of see where they're going with it.
Remember when I came up with a whole entire plot?
They should have a smut season 2.
Story arc.
Smut.
Do you remember when I came up with an entire story arc for season 2 and I told it to you guys? I will only reenact that if we actually get listeners and Patreon shit, because like that was funny. Y'all remember that?
You have to remind me later.
You know what'd be so funny is if we made stickers based off of phrases we say or like a funny inside joke from the episodes and be like, there you go, you think that's funny from the show? Well, we have a sticker to memorialize it on your sketchbook or whatever you want.
That'd be cute. So would you guys share Sk8 The Infinity with anyone else?
Depends.
Yeah, I think it depends for me. I think it's a great show. It's not that it's not worth sharing.
But you're like, not everyone will appreciate this.
I don't think anybody. I don't think a lot of people.
It's for the bitches, bros, non-binary hoes, and that's it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Colin was like rolling his eyes at like some of the unrealistic.
Oh my god! I forgot we showed it to Colin.
Yeah, and I was like, you don't appreciate art. I was like, you have to like romantic comedy kind of shit, like like these unrealistic scenarios. Like, of course, there's a skate club that we meet up at, and like it's the fucking shindig. Like, we meet up to hang out.
Like JoJo's, you have to put your head in a headspace when you watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and if you're not capable of that, then you're not gonna like it.
Yeah,
and I think
that if you appreciate it's like same thing with JoJo. It's such a girly boy show that like has good feelings to it and touch on a lot of like interesting like relationships and it just the content itself, like a fucking skate club that's a secret skate club, like, and we're also gay and we're also hanging out and we're all men except for one kid, which is really weird. Like, you gotta just have the headspace for it, man.
Yo, you know what'd be funny? If we made stickers of each one of us as Reki, Shadow, and the child, and it's us. Like, there's me in some cat ears.
Then we can do it again.
And there's Kaylin with
I want the other ones
with the AC/DC makeup on, and then there's Mariah
with the headband.
With the headband, like
we'll
all
do
the
our
clothes
alter
and everything,
and the hoodie, yeah,
everything.
That's what I'm saying. We'll do our alter ego. So we'll do the full team because there's enough, and we all match different ones. You can be Longa sometimes, but I feel like you're more cherry than I'm cherry, so we would make.
What do you mean? Cherry is literally defined by pink. Hold on, pause.
Yeah, but it's the energy.
I would
like
agree.
Cherry blossom.
Yeah, I would agree. Free Virgo.
Oh, yo, Kaylin.
Yeah.
What are you sharing next week?
Guess what it is?
Hold on. Listen, we figure out these topics ahead of time, and I never remember. I asked Mariah before we walked in here what it was.
Yeah, she did.
I actually forgot to.
What the fuck?
Reminded me today.
I reminded her today what we were talking about for episode.
What is it?
We are going to be covering B-Stars next week.
Oh, really?
I can't wait to roast
scream
it.
And say, I did that, but then I didn't know that.
I'm going to roast it.
Well, I think that Kinsey and I can carry it. It'll be a two-man show next week, guys.
What I'm excited to hear is just Mariah's roast, because honestly, even if she doesn't like it, there are things to roast about that show, even though I love the show.
Listen, I just think that we've been bashing the furries too much. I wanted to bring some representation to the table. Show some appreciation for the culture, you know what I mean?
For the culture.
We are closet furries in here, and also like furry adjacent. You know, it's just
we just lost 10 subscribers, guys, so shit.
It's been a hard
you guys could stick around for me.
Kind of like when you're in denial about being gay, you know?
Yeah.
You've been told all your life, you gotta be straight, you gotta have a husband and wife, and you know what? That's what it's been like for me with the furry
Brian's like,
community.
please, if you're not a furry, hang in there for me at least.
Yeah. Dang. Well, I'm glad you guys enjoy Skate as much as I do, because I was really nervous when I showed it to you guys.
Yeah, we weren't even really friends.
Not really.
We were only
it was quite
friends.
a bop.
It was like a year in, because we watched it after we got our COVID shots together.
Yeah, it was after her busted leg. She was sad that she couldn't skate.
Yeah, I remember I was like, I'm sad that I found this anime because I can't skateboard right now. And I was like, Kinsey, do you want to borrow my skateboard? Here you go.
Oh, okay, I guess we were friends. Just kidding, guys. I have no sense of time.
It's okay.
I do.
We'll talk to you guys next week where we break down B-Stars.
B-Stars.